Do you know what a concussion is? Let's start by breaking it down in the simplest form. A concussion in layman's terms is akin to a brain bruise. It happens when your brain ricochets off the inside of your skull. Often this is due to a sudden blow or jolt to the head. Imagine your brain as a soft, gelatinous structure, housed within a rigid, bony skull. When you experience a sudden impact, your brain can bounce or twist inside the skull, causing chemical changes and sometimes stretching and damaging brain cells. This can lead to a temporary loss of normal brain function. It's important to remember that a concussion is a serious injury that requires immediate attention and proper care. It's not just about shaking it off or playing through the pain, because when it comes to the brain, it's a whole different ballgame. But what does this mean in a practical sense, especially for athletes? Imagine you're a soccer player in the heat of the match, when suddenly, you collide heads with an opponent while leaping for a header. It's a common occurrence in soccer, but this time, it's not just a bump. You're left feeling a bit dazed, your thoughts seem slower, and there's a throbbing headache setting in. This, my friends, is a prime example of how concussions can occur in soccer. Often it's not an intentional foul or a dramatic fall, but rather these seemingly innocuous collisions that can lead to concerning outcomes. Now let's say you manage to shake off the initial shock and decide to continue playing. But here's the thing. Concussions can be sneaky. The symptoms might not appear immediately. It could be minutes or even hours later when you start to feel not quite right. So, what could you experience? Well, apart from the headache, you might feel confused or find it difficult to remember what happened before or after the collision. Dizziness could creep in, or you might notice a change in your balance. Some people even experience nausea or vomiting. And yes, in severe cases, a loss of consciousness can occur. But this is not as common as you might think. It's also crucial to understand that concussions don't always come with visible signs. There may not be a bruise or swelling where you took the hit. The real damage is inside, where the brain has been jostled against the skull. In the world of soccer, concussions are not uncommon. According to the Journal of Athletic Training, soccer is the sport with the second highest incidence of concussion in athletes, only trailing behind American football. So you've taken a heavy blow to the head during a game. What happens next? It's essential to recognize the signs of a concussion, not just for yourself, but for your teammates as well. The signs are not always obvious and can be easily overlooked if you're not vigilant. However, the consequences of ignoring these signs can be dire. So, let's delve into how you can spot a concussion. Physical symptoms are one of the most apparent signs. These may include headaches, blurred vision, dizziness, nausea, and sensitivity to light or noise. It's important to note that these symptoms might not appear immediately after the injury. They can show up hours or even days later. Cognitive issues are another telltale sign of a concussion. The person might seem confused, forgetful, or have trouble concentrating. They might also experience difficulty in remembering new information. So, if your teammate is having trouble recalling the play you just discussed, it could be a sign that something's not right. Emotional changes can also occur. Someone with a concussion might seem more irritable, sad, or anxious than usual. They might be more emotional or have sudden mood swings. These changes can be subtle, so it's important to know your teammates well and be aware of any shifts in their behavior. Sleep disturbances are another symptom to watch out for. The person might sleep more than usual, have trouble falling asleep, or experience changes in their sleep patterns. If your teammate is suddenly napping at odd times or complains about not sleeping well, it could be a sign of a concussion. Remember, it's not necessary for all these symptoms to be present. Even one or two could indicate a concussion. So, always err on the side of caution. If you or a teammate are experiencing any of these symptoms after a hit to the head, seek medical attention immediately. Recognizing a concussion is the first step, but what do you do if you suspect one? If you suspect a concussion, it's crucial to act immediately. In the heat of a game or competition, the adrenaline may be pumping, and the last thing you want is to be taken out of play. But when it comes to concussions, the stakes are high, and your brain's health is not something to gamble with. The first step is to stop, immediately. It's not just about avoiding further injury, it's about giving your brain the chance to recover. Just like you wouldn't keep running on a sprained ankle, you shouldn't keep pushing your brain after a potential concussion. Next, seek medical attention. Don't brush it off as a minor bump or a seeing stars moment. It's essential to get a professional opinion. A healthcare provider will be able to evaluate the situation, provide an accurate diagnosis, and guide you on the next steps. Even if you feel fine, symptoms may not appear until hours or even days after the injury. Once diagnosed, it's all about rest and recovery. That means avoiding activities that might worsen your symptoms or put you at risk of another concussion. It's not just physical activity you need to avoid. Cognitive rest is crucial too. That means limiting activities that require a lot of concentration or attention, like studying, working on a computer, or even texting. The importance of rest and recovery cannot be overstressed. It's not a matter of toughness or grit. It's about giving your brain the time it needs to heal. Remember, each concussion makes you more susceptible to another one, and repeated concussions can lead to long-term problems. And as much as you might want to jump back in the game, patience is key. Don't rush your return to play. You should only return to sports when you're symptom-free and have the okay from a healthcare professional. Getting back into the game too soon can have serious consequences. Your brain is your most valuable player. Treat it with the care it deserves. Ignoring a concussion isn't just dangerous, it can be life-threatening. It's crucial to understand that a concussion isn't something to brush off. It's more than just a blow to the head. It's a traumatic brain injury that can have serious consequences if not treated properly. One potential consequence is known as second impact syndrome. This happens when a person suffers a second concussion before the first one has fully healed. It can cause rapid and severe brain swelling, and it can be fatal. It's not something to gamble with. Another potential outcome of ignoring a concussion is long-term cognitive impairment. This can manifest as persistent headaches, difficulty concentrating, memory issues, and even changes in personality. It's not just about the immediate aftermath of the injury, it's about the long-term health of your brain. Let's talk numbers. In a single year, it's estimated that up to 3.5 million sports-related concussions occur in the United States alone. That's a staggering figure. And what's even more concerning is that around half of these concussions go unreported. That means half of these athletes are potentially at risk of these serious consequences we've discussed. Concussions are a serious matter. They're not just an occupational hazard for athletes, they're a threat to the health and well-being of anyone who experiences them. Safeguarding against concussions isn't just about protecting your sports career, it's about protecting your life. Once you've had a concussion, returning to sports isn't as simple as lacing up your cleats. When you're ready to get back in the game after a concussion, it's crucial to follow a return-to-sport protocol. This is a step-by-step process designed to protect you from further injury, while gradually reintroducing you to physical activity. The initial step involves complete rest, giving your brain the time it needs to heal. This is usually followed by light aerobic exercise like walking or stationary cycling. It's important to note that during these early stages, any activity that risks further head injury should be avoided. As you progress, and if your symptoms don't reappear or worsen, you can gradually increase your activity level. This might include sport-specific exercises, then non-contact training drills, and finally full contact practice. Remember, each step should take at least 1 day, but it could take longer if symptoms reemerge. The key is to listen to your body and not to rush the process. Alongside this, regular monitoring of symptoms is crucial. This is not something you should do alone. Regular check-ins with a healthcare professional are an integral part of the process. They can provide medical clearance when you're ready to fully return to your sport. A concussion is serious, but with the right approach, it doesn't have to end your sports career.